morning, everyone. Today is March 30th. It's Tuesday. For some of you, this is a little weird because this is for my face-to-face kids and virtual kids.
Hi, guys.
Because I am home. I am quarantined again. COVID has hit my house again. So for those of you who are face-to-face, this is a little bit weird for you guys, which I understand. But I have this agenda that we are going to go over today. Whether you are face-to-face or virtual, this is what we are doing today. So first thing is first, I'm going to go over some STAR questions with you guys, just like regular old warm-ups. Remember that in Algebra 1, we have to take a credit at the end of the year. We have to pass the credit, which means that if we pass the Algebra 1 test, we have a Algebra 1 credit for high school. We don't take Algebra 1 again in high school. We have to do that this year, all right? That is how STAR is working. So I'm going to stop my agenda real quick, move on to the STAR questions to review. We're going to start reviewing these each day. And you just follow along. You don't have to take any notes today. All right, I will probably get you to do that later. So the first question says, a dentist made a scatter plot below of the number of cavities the patient has as it relates to the number of times they flossed each week. It says so here's a scatter plot that is made from a bunch of dots, like data probably from some people. It looks like a lot of people had cavities when they did not floss very many times each week. And the number kind of goes in sort of a line saying that the more they floss each week, the less cavities they have. This trend is going this way, which if we put a line in the middle here, it would be called a trend line. We have to decide if the line that we drew was positive correlation, negative correlation, nonlinear, or no correlation at all. We can automatically eliminate nonlinear because this does create a line. This one it's not no correlation because it does create a line. We got to figure out if it's positive or negative. Easy to see, it's negative. Positive would be going up this way. Okay, so C is the answer for that. Let's move on to this one. This one says, which of the following graphs represents a systems of equations that has no solution? So a solution to systems of equations would be where the two lines cross each other as an intersection point. This one does have an intersection point. However, D does not. C and A kind of try to trick you because they kind of want you to think that they're going to never meet, but they do eventually at the very end there. So both of them kind of like will eventually come together and meet. The way you can tell for sure is if you took the slope, the rise over the run over both of these lines, they would be different. And the way we know for sure lines are parallel is that they have the same slope. All right, one more. It says which of the following is a function which shows a function with a domain of all real numbers greater than negative or greater than 7. Jeez, I cannot talk. All right, first of all, it says we are looking for a function. So I can eliminate B and D because these are not functions. They do not pass the vertical line test. They are vertical lines, which means they fail the vertical line test. So I look at A and C and try to see which one has a domain X values, greater than 7. So here's 7 on the domain, and this graph shows all the numbers greater than. That's why it has the arrow that's going that way. Sorry, this is a weird, my selfie's backwards. Okay, this one was trying to trick you because it has the 7 on the Y value, which was technically range, not what we were looking for. So A was the answer on this one. All right, back to the agenda. The next thing we're going to do is complete a domain and range warm-up. So in a second, you're going to pause the video, go to IXL, type in JZD into the search bar. So let's go to IXL on our Chromebooks. JZD into the search bar. All you have to do is press enter once you've typed those. You don't even have to click nothing. It'll take you straight to the thing that you need. You're going to be asked to find the range and the domain of a bunch of different things. Always remember that domain is X, range is Y. Domain comes from these numbers here, 3, 16, 18. Range comes from 18, negative 10, and 10. So all I would do is type in 18, negative 10, and 10. Oh, almost messed up. and then got it. So if you ever come to one that looks like this one is asking for the domain, which is the x values. You go to find the dots, look at the x values. It hits, that one hits at -5, at 2, at -1, and at 2 again. So, or sorry, I said that wrong. So first -5, then -2, then -1, then 2. And you did it. If you ever get something that repeats, don't repeat it. Just type it once and that's it. Okay. All right. Moving on back to my agenda. So if you want to finish this IXL right now, pause the video. Give yourself a second to finish this IXL. I do want you all to get a 100. It's okay. I do want you all to get a 100 on this because it's a quick and easy one. All you're doing is putting in those numbers where they go. Okay. The next thing you're going to do after you have finished that IXL is you're going to read and mark the text for the quadratic function notes. So I have wrote a bunch of notes for quadratic function. There's 2 notes, 2 pages. So one thing about math is you have to get used to reading math. If you can't read math, you won't be able to understand it because you won't be able to write it. We use a lot of algebraic representations and stuff like that to talk to show what we're trying to say in math. So I have wrote you down notes. I've wrote you very specifically about things about the quadratic functions. However, this one starts talking about different forms of quadratic functions. We know quadratic functions make parabolas, and we also know that in linear functions, the lines, we have different forms. We have slope-intercept form, point-slope form, standard form. Well, we have a couple forms for quadratic functions. We have standard form, which is the normal way to write quadratic functions, and vertex form. So you're going to practice or use these notes to help you practice eventually. So pause the video right now to read and mark the text from your notes. And when you play the video back, that means you have read the notes and you're kind of like, okay, I kind of see what you're saying, Ms. Garza, but not all the way sure. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to use these notes that I have attached them to the Google to the Google stream, the post that I have this video on. I have also, hopefully you can have these printed in class. If not, you can just use the things that's on the Google. However, I really do want you marking the text, so using highlighters, pens, something like that, okay? All right, so after you've read those, the last thing you're going to do today is use the notes to help you with graphing quadratic functions in Vertex Form in IXL. So I'm technically gold starring it for you, as in it will have whenever you open up your when you open up your IXL, you'll see a gold star to the side. You'll go to that and like this. Let me show you. When you go to your IXL, you will see a gold star. Yours will say a different number, I'm sure. When you drop it down, the very first one you see is this one right here. It will be the quadratic functions one with the vertex form. So I am going to, darn, I don't have this one pulled up on accident. Okay, I'm typing in the search bar. Sorry, guys. Let's see, is this it? It is. Found it. Okay, so I'm starring it right now for you guys. Face-to-face algebra 1 and virtual algebra or algebra 1. So everybody has it. This is what you're going to do. So you're going to be given some quadratic functions like this. Notice that some of these are just written without a bunch of extra stuff. It's going to be kind of plain. Whenever things are kind of plain like this, it's because there isn't an H and a K, like is in our normal vertex form. So remember, vertex form is A with the parentheses X minus H squared plus K. There is not an H and an X, or H and a K. So we're technically considered 0, 0. which means that the vertex of this is at 0. Okay? And then it says, then plot another point on the parabola. If you make a mistake, you can erase your parabola by selecting the second point and placing it on top of the first. Okay, we get it. So if we're trying to figure out the next point to this parabola, you can do this 2 different ways. So there are graphing calculators that you have at your disposal, or not at your disposal, but for you to use. You can graph this in the graphing calculator. Go to the table. If you don't remember how to go to the table and you're in class, ask somebody around you. I'm sure somebody remembers. Or you can pick random x values and see what your y value would be. So let's pick 2 as our x value. If I replaced the x with a 2, I would have 2 squared, which is 4, and then 8 times 4, which is 32. Is that correct? Or is it 8 times 2? Okay, so it's 32, but it's way too high. So let's do 1. 1 squared is just 1. 8 times 1 is 1. So I'm going to go to, or 8 times 1 is 8. I'm going to go here and plot an 8. Jeez, I don't know why that took me so much. My brain thinking to get that done. But the once I click here once and then there the other time, it makes my nice parabola, makes it for me. Because remember, it's a U-shaped and it's perfect on each side. So let's go check this answer. We got it. All right, let me go jump a level to get something a little bit harder for you guys. All right, here's one, except it does not. So if you compare this to the normal, let me see if I can start to. I'm going to try, okay, guys? Oh, man. Oh, and then I still did it wrong. This right here is supposed to be a negative. So how do I erase? You guys, I'm so sorry. Okay, we're going to pretend that, oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I tried really hard to do this, but I can't do it. We're going to pretend that was a negative, a minus sign the whole time. You know what? Technology. Okay, is this going to work now? Oh, there we go. Okay, we're going to now just not do that anymore. Okay. So this is what our vertex form is supposed to look like. However, it does not look like that. It looks like this because it's lacking those parentheses. What that means is there is no H right now. There is only a K. K is 1. So remember that our vertex is HK. This is a minus H and this is a plus K. So if I have a plus 1, that is my Y value. Making sure because you never know. I might be crazy. Yes. Okay. So K is 1. 1. That's a Y. So I'm going to try to do this again. Leave me alone. Okay, H is 0, which means X is 0. And Y is 1. So that is another point on or that is the vertex on our graph. So I'm going to go to 0, 1, plot a point. There we go. The next thing I do is I take the next point. Let's do 1. Oh, looks like my graph is, oh, okay. I can go down if I need to. I take 1 as an x value. I plug it into this x. So 3 times 1, because 1 squared is 1. 3 times 1 is 1, or 3, plus 1 is 4. So I go up to the 4. I'm sorry this is taking me so long, guys. But I hope this helps you a little bit. Got it? Oh, look at all this stuff. I tried. I'm going to try better next time. I don't know how to erase that. That's not what I want. eraser. Oh, eraser. Okay. All right. So this one is kind of in Vertex Form. Except it's lacking the plus k at the end. So it has the 7, which is the x. And remember, the negative is part of the formula. So leave the negative alone. The only thing you would need to change is if you ever saw a plus there, a plus does not go there, which means that it was probably a minus negative something. So your x value was a negative number. Okay. Our y value is not even here, which means our y value is 0. So I'm going to try this again. Since I know that my x value is 7, my y value is 0. This is a point that I get, and I'm going to plot. Oh, I'm doing a little bit better. 7, 0, which is right here. Ooh. Looks like we're even able to go in between numbers, like 6.5 if I had to, but I don't have to. So 7, 0, here's that. And then the next thing I figure out is which next numbers. So I'm going to try this one. I'm going to try 6, just because it's close. 6 minus 7, or let's do 8, just so we don't have negative numbers. 8 minus 7 is 1. 1 squared is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, so that means that this one is going to go right up here to the 3. Oh, did I put it at the 3? And I did not. I did put it at 3, but I went a little too far. And then I submit. Got it. All right, again, we didn't have. All right, so let me jump up another level until you start getting some actual vertex form questions. Remember, this is the y. This is the x. It's HK, but it stands for XY. Don't know why, but they did that. So I have 2 and 8. I go down here to 8, plot the point, and then I start to try to see what's next. So let's go over to the 3. Let's see what, if I put a 3 right here, it would be 3 minus 2, which is 1. 1 squared is 1. 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 plus 8 is 10. So for the 3, I would go up to the 10, 3, 10. That is a point on the graph. Press enter. Got it. All right, so it keeps going, all right? If you have a calculator, do it in the calculator. Don't try to do it on your head. Here's one more example, okay? This is a minus 7, or minus 1, minus 7. So the the vertex, this is x, would be 1. Remember, if this was ever a plus 1, I would have had a negative 1 right here. Okay, it's not. We're good. This minus sign is part of the formula. Minus 7, however, is not part of the formula. It was positive. It was plus 7, which means that part of my vertex is minus 7, like this. So I'm going to go down here. My vertex was 1, negative 7. 1, negative 7 right there. And then I go and plug in. Let's plug in 2 to see. So 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 squared is 1. 4 times 1 is 4. And 4 minus 7 is negative 3. So did I do that right? 4 minus 7 is negative 3. Yes, and I plugged in a 2. So on 2, I needed a negative 2, negative 3 right here. Got it. Sorry, guys. All right. Okay. Try your best on these. If you decided to go ahead and start your IXL before I was done giving all of my long-winded examples, you're good. If you choose to type it in the search bar, it is C7T for this one. However, I gave you a lot of examples, so let's just try to work with those. All right, this is your assignment for today. If you do not finish the IXL assignment in class, you have to do it some other time. So for those virtual kids, do it today. Get 100, a 100. Whatever number you stop at, if you stop at a 90, that is the grade that you're going to get in the grade book. If you stop at an 80, you get an 80. For those of my in-person kids, my face-to-face, if you did not finish this, finish it tomorrow in win time. Finish it during lunchtime. I don't know, whenever you have an off class that you can finish this. All right. This is important. You'll have to get it done. All right, guys. I will be available, so shoot me an email tomorrow if you have questions or need help. All right, guys. Have a good night.